This week on MultiGP News, the 2017 Regional Series heating up from coast to coast with 5 qualifiers over the weekend. Find out the top pilots plus a full recap of the races. And it's an organization that establishes regulations for air sporting events all around the world. The Federation of Aeronautics International holding the first drone-related conference in Switzerland last month. Find out some of the hot topics discussed among organizers. MultiGP also visiting the Olympic Museum in Lausanne to generate ideas on how to push the sport forward onto the world stage. Then, the country celebrates Armed Forces Day this weekend. We'll introduce you to some FPV pilots in the MultiGP community who we're also proud to call heroes. All this and much more this weekend on MultiGP News.
Once upon a time in the West. Sure sounds like a fairy tale. Go on and ask the contenders. They'll tell you it's more like a nightmare. Best regional we've ever seen. Could be. Shoot, you want to reach the promised land? You'll have to go through the young guns. The wild bunch. The bad company. An outlaw. And a whole lot of true grit. Meanwhile, down in Texas, there's a Lone Star. Maverick. And a few Silverados that ain't done yet. Surviving the good, the bad, and the ugly. This, my friends, is MultiGP Regional Series. The road to the National Championship begins here.
The 2017 Regional Series heating up. We just saw one of the busiest weekends so far with 5 chapters holding qualifiers. MultiGP News breaks down all the racing action.
We begin out west in sunny California. Bakersfield Multi-Rotor hosting the second qualifier in Region 6B. This TB event tracker was running hot with over 90 heats. The top pilots pushed 5 laps on a big swooping course with a dive gate similar to the one in the regional finals track. 9 pilots fought their way to the next round in Oxnard, California. Jared Road Hunter Rhodes, Reggie R3 Ramos, Francis Singenberg, Ricky R. Martinez, Taylor Swifty Ellis, Aaron Inburst Jones, Joshua Lennon FPV Fun, Michael Mad Mikey R32, and Jerome Platinum B Freshenen. And the music's getting louder in Region 2A. 2 more qualifiers taking place over the weekend. Music City Multi-Rotor hosting Saturday event in Hendersonville, Tennessee.
It's a toss-up. I have no idea. I would like to say I can go out here and fly to my abilities, but you know, we never fly as good as we want to.
Man, how you doing?
How's it going, man?
What's your name?
Kyle.
Kyle.
Ricks.
What's your pilot name? There you go. All right. How'd you do today?
Pretty good. Better than I thought I was going to do.
What'd you place?
3rd.
Oh man, today was just my day. I usually am in the gates and the ground more than anything, but today everything was clicking for me, and it was a great day. Pulled out the win.
The top 5 pilots were Aaron Bump FPV Bigger, Kyle Rixus Rix, Don T3 Don, Jesse Nomad Swinson, Alex the Chief Campbell. The Happy Quads Club throwing it down in Simpsonville, South Carolina.
So it basically starts like this. This is the one thing I've noticed. It's the exact same in pretty much every regional I've seen. Is the hurdle up front, the chicanes immediately after. That's a constant.
The top 5 pilots were Max Baymax Dorsey, Ricardo Champino Samuel, James JZ FPV Alexander, Tyler T-Mad FPV Medler, Dennis McNasty FPV Nash. The Northeast #2 qualifier going down in Delaware and hosted by the First State Flight Club. Pilots travel from across Region 1A to battle it out in the nation's first state.
It was a lot of fun, really high-speed track, so that's always fun. Lots of big crashes, and it's a good time.
The course featuring plenty of twists and turns, also making obstacles out of the natural surroundings. Your top qualifiers of the day. Thomas Wilkie FPV Wilkie, Andres Dex FPV Esposito, Cody Dinosaur Wright, Anthony Toro FPV Garcia, Olaf Viking FPV Hitchawa, Chase Kova Waddle.
I did pretty well. It took first. Can't say that I'm upset with that. Pretty good. This track was awesome. Very, very high speed. We had some high winds to go along with that, so got a little squirrely on some of these sections, which it just kept it fun all day.
And in Volusia County, it's down to the last regional in 2B after 6 grueling qualifiers. The Volusia Wolfpack Racers held the final race of the region on Sunday. The last 5 of 35 pilots qualified their spot to earn their badge of honors in the MultiGP regional final.
David Knight, a.k.a. Night Flyer, a.k.a. Gator Blood, representing Race Day Quads. Formerly from Birmingham, Alabama, FPV South, coming down to Orlando with Rotor Racers and these guys at Wolfpack doing it big.
Yeah, I just started off today. It's just great to be in the top.
So you've been flying for 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days. I don't know how I'm so good. It's just I think I'm natural at it.
You're a natural, man. So you ready for the finals?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm going up against my brother.
Oh yeah, you're going to take him out, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And in the end, a few crowd favorites made it to the top 5 qualifiers. David Night Flyer Knight, Nilberto Hyperneil Riviera, Roberto Boo Boo Farron, Will Omni FPV Powell, and Greg Schultz. Congratulations to all the qualifiers, and we'll be sure to see you at the MultiGP Regional Final.
And the nation's first regional final will take place in Region 2B on June 3rd. This weekend, our nation celebrates the brave men and women who have served or are currently serving in the armed forces. And as a way of honoring them, we'd like to introduce you to some military members who not only enjoy flying FPV, but use the hobby as a form of release.
I've always felt like I needed to do something better, so I decided to join the Navy and serve my country. I had 2 friends that went into the Navy, and that's why I chose the Navy. Most of my family have always been either Marines or Army.
Active duty and military members are being honored across the nation for their dedication to our country. Armed Forces Day will be celebrated this weekend to thank all the servicemen and women who put their lives on the line for us.
I'm a lieutenant in the Air Force, and I'm currently stationed in Columbus, Mississippi, attending pilot training.
Joined right out of high school, so I was 18. Graduated high school, left for boot camp. So I mean, as an 18-year-old, I was living on my own. So I had to grow up. So it made me grow up fast.
National Guard is a weekend commitment, but it's for the last 12, 15 years, ever since 2001, it's been a little bit more than just the 1 weekend a month. And so my commander in chief is actually I have 2. I have the governor of Delaware, and I have the president of the United States.
My name is Richard Machonis. I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran, and my pilot name is Rich 976 USAF.
One thing is for sure, flying quadcopters is a hobby they all enjoy.
I get to fly with guys like Envy Astro, Admin 20 said Endo, It will be fun. A lot of great pilots. I actually got one of my buddies here, Dragon Blades. He's an excellent pilot too, and so I'm pretty fortunate to get to race with a lot of good guys. It helps me out.
I'm a little bit of both. Like, I'm pretty new to the racing community. I've only done a few races, but I definitely enjoy racing. And I mean, I get out and freestyle whenever possible.
I'm a bit of both. I'm a bit of a racer and a freestyle pilot. We have races every weekend, whether it's a points race or just a practice race. But I'll also go out and freestyle in the park too. You know, get some training in, get some stick time.
And the stress doesn't get to me. So I think that has been a huge advantage for me as a racing pilot. But it's slowly going away as like people get more experience in their racing, so they fly just as well on race day as they do when they just practice by themselves.
These current and former military members say flying FPV is a form of release for them, giving them a moment in time to enjoy what they love.
There are a lot of veterans in the hobby, you know, and I'm sure that a big reason for that is that FPV is a great way, you know, whether you work a difficult day job or you spent 12 months in Iraq and lost buddies. You know, FPV is a great way to literally immerse yourself in something that you're doing, you know, and for 2 minutes at a time completely forget about everything and just focus on flying.
In March, I discovered FPV, and so from the help that I received from the VA and with FPV, if it wasn't for FPV, we wouldn't be doing this interview. I was not a social butterfly, and through FPV, I've been able to kind of open back up. Like I said, I get that 2 to 3 minute moment of freedom, just where nothing really exists other than being in that moment, and so the stress and the worries and the anxiety and all that, it's all gone when you're under the goggles. Because you get to fly. I think most kids grow up wondering what it is to fly, and so here's an outlet.
FPV and flying multi-rotor is a great release at the end of the day. It's a wonderful hobby to be part of. You know, we fly in an organized fashion, so we're not out, you know, dropping down the sides of buildings, you know, flying over highways and places we shouldn't be flying. You know, we keep it pretty well regulated when we fly. We're flying at an AMA-sanctioned field and doing things the right way.
It's definitely a stress reliever. You know, I take that, you know, I feel that's my stress reliever. You know, typical sailors, you see it. You know, cartoons or memes. You know, sailors like to drink. Well, I don't really drink, so FPV is kind of my stress reliever. You know, it lets me unwind after a long day. You know, basically it allows me to feel free from, you know, whatever could be causing me stress.
This weekend, look out for displays of military equipment, a patriotic music concert, and much more in your local community. From all of us here at MultiGP News, we'd like to say thank you to everyone who has served as well as those who are currently serving. And next week, it's digital versus analog. We'll talk to some top pilots in the industry to see what they prefer. The FAI could be considered the governing body on air sports, and now they have a committee dedicated to drone racing. We'll hear what went down at the first meeting in Switzerland.
They hold all the records for world air sports, so everything from hot air ballooning to skydiving, to gliding, and then there's also the aero modeling side of that, which they hold the records for on a worldwide basis.
The World Air Sports Federation hosting their first drone event conference in Switzerland last month.
MultiGP was invited to attend the first ever drone organizers meeting. And what that means was there were a handful of organizations that were out there and event planners just to talk about the state of the industry and where it was going.
FAI reps gathered with organizers from around the world to exchange experiences from the past years and to discuss upcoming drone racing events taking place this year and next.
It was very interesting to see the different aspects of all the different countries, and I can tell you that it was very exciting leaving that meeting, knowing that MultiGP is in the forefront on the global level for what we're doing.
Questions centered around FAI and its role in international developments on drones related to innovation, safety, and sports.
There's a lot of different challenges with the regulations in all of the different countries, and that's one of the challenges that Europe obviously has. They have a lot of countries in a small space, and they're all trying to combine everyone and work towards the same goal, which I know can be challenging over there. I think a worldwide effort on just promoting the sport in general and how safe it is, what our safety record is, and how fun it is can go a long way.
The FAI Aero Modeling Commission introducing the status of the rulemaking process. Organizers from FAI, MultiGP, European Rotor Sports Association, and Freedom Drone Sports from Australia showcased their approach to the sport.
There was a league from Europe there called URSA. There were also some event planners there from the Netherlands, organizations from Spain, Belgium, France. So it was a very good mix. And everyone there is super passionate. It was so much fun talking about something we're all passionate from, but then hearing the different challenges and ideas from around the globe. There are a lot of the same challenges that we face as well, and a lot of the same positive experiences. So it was a very positive meeting coming out of that and speaking with them.
In addition, the concept for the first FAI World Drone Racing Championship for 2017 and 18 was presented to the participants. The exchange of experiences and projects were viewed as a significant step to further develop drone sports on a global level.
The world in general can look forward to a more formatted national championship that will lead to a world championship. There's a lot of interest looking at drone racing right now. I mean, we're the sport of the UAV industry, and the UAV industry around the world is blowing up, right? Think when airplanes or even bicycles were invented. That technology was used for all different kinds of purposes, but when that technology was invented, so was a sport from it. And we're that sport. So, we look forward to growing it and helping it become sustainable.
Make sure to catch MultiGP News every week on YouTube. We're aiming to reach 10,000 subscribers, so remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.